It's another beautiful day in Matthew's little town. As he strolls through the main street, enjoying the sunshine, Matthew notices his friend Mrs. Whiskers, an elderly and gentle gray cat, looking around anxiously under benches and peeking around bushes. She seems a bit flustered. Curious, Matthew walks over, and Mrs. Whiskers looks up with a relieved smile. "Oh, Matthew," she says. "I've lost my favorite purple yarn ball. I must have dropped it somewhere on my morning walk." Matthew is eager to help his friend. He suggests they retrace her steps and try to find the missing yarn ball together. Mrs. Whiskers happily agrees, and the two friends start their little adventure, beginning with the bakery. Inside the bakery, Mr. Krusty the squirrel is busy arranging pastries. When they explain their mission, Mr. Krusty thinks for a moment, but sadly shakes his head. He hasn't seen any yarn balls around today. However, he hands Mrs. Whiskers a cookie to cheer her up, and she thanks him with a smile. Undeterred, Matthew and Mrs. Whiskers continue their search. Next, they visit the town park, where they find Sparky, the playful puppy, rolling around on the grass with his bright red ball. When Sparky hears about the missing yarn, he jumps up, eager to help his friends. Sparky remembers seeing something purple by the playground, and so they all start searching together, looking under the slide, around the swings, and even in the sandbox. But all they find is a small purple flower petal, no yarn ball. Feeling a bit puzzled but not ready to give up, they decide to try the library. Inside, Miss Feather, the wise old owl librarian, is busy dusting off books. When they ask her, Miss Feather thinks carefully and remembers seeing something fuzzy near the reading nook. They hurry over to check, but it's just a fluffy purple bookmark. Matthew and Mrs. Whiskers exchange a smile, realizing that the yarn ball search has turned into quite the adventure. Finally, they decide to visit Mr. Hopper, the rabbit gardener, who is trimming flowers in his lovely garden. Mr. Hopper greets them warmly and listens to their story. After a moment, he chuckles and points to a patch of lavender. There, tangled among the purple flowers, is Mrs. Whiskers' yarn ball. Mrs. Whiskers is overjoyed and thanks everyone for helping her find it. Matthew, Sparky, Miss Feather, and Mr. Krusty are all so happy to have been part of the search. As they all say goodbye, Matthew reflects on how wonderful it is to help friends. Sometimes, helping can turn into its very own adventure. And so, with smiles and waves, they all go their separate ways, each grateful to be part of such a caring community.